Okay. Good morning, guys. So today we are doing another day in the life of a medical student because you guys seem to enjoy them quite a lot. And while I try to wake myself up with this tea, why don't I tell you guys what we're gonna do today. So this morning, as part of my Obs Gynae rotation, I actually have the morning off. So instead of just being at home, I've booked a session in the library because I wanted to try and kind of have a change of pace. Like I said in my other videos, sometimes just sitting at your desk and staring at the same wall can be quite exhausting. So being able to work somewhere else does help from time to time. Later on in the afternoon, I have a simulation session for laparoscopic surgery. The type of surgery involves robotic surgery, so it's where you have small incisions and you're doing the surgery using these instruments. I'll go into that later on in the afternoon, but that should be pretty fun. And then in the evening, I'll be seeing some friends as well, so should be a pretty busy day. And when I'm done with this, we'll head on out to the hospital. Still hot. Before we go on with the rest of the video, I just want to quickly talk about something which you guys might find really helpful now that everything's being moved online. So if you're like me and you end up opening 100 tabs for all the different things that you think you need for when you're working, then you'll really enjoy using Identity. Identity is a desktop app that aims to declutter the internet. The way that they're trying to do that is by helping you be more thoughtful and efficient with the way you use the internet. So how you can get started is by opening Identity on Chrome or any browser that you like, and then organizing links that you use on a daily basis. And once you've organized it, you can just search for them. For example, for me, I've organized all my medicine stuff into this medicine pile. I've included things like the NICE guidelines, BNF for drugs, my notes on Notion, PassMed and QuesMed for my question banks, as well as my university Moodle page, among some other things. The great thing is that they've integrated Google Calendar and a to-do list all in one place, so you don't have to have multiple tabs open or multiple windows open. This is really great for me as well because I used to have different things open to just try and track what I'm trying to do. So if you guys would like to try Identity, feel free to click the link in the description box below. And thank you so much to Identity for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. And with that out the way, let's get back into the video.
So casually keep diving into concrete.
So this morning, I wanted to prepare for my mock OSCE, which I was having tomorrow. The exam that you have in med school that tests your clinical and practical skills. For us, we had our OSCEs cancelled last year because of the pandemic, and that makes all of us a little bit more nervous this year because we just haven't had as much practice. So for the mock, they actually sent the stations in advance, and so that's why for this study session, I wanted to practice things like the cardiovascular exam and go over emergency situations. One of the best resources I've used in med school is Geeky Medics for their videos on OSCEs and things like that. I'm not being sponsored to say this, but their explanations are super good at going into the details for each station. To go over emergency situations, I went over the acronym which seems to come up all the time, which is Dr. ABCDE, D for danger, R for response, A for airway, B for breathing, C for circulation, D for disability, and E for everything. It's a sort of checklist that we use so that when we're in an emergency situation, we can work through systematically and not panic. So for lunch, I went to grab something from M&S. I think I grabbed a chicken and bacon Caesar wrap. And because the weather was so good, we decided to go to a park by the hospital instead of just eating indoors. And there were loads of cute dogs at this park, so that was nice. In the afternoon, I went back to the hospital, to the simulation center, where a couple of us were going to learn more about laparoscopic surgery. So laparoscopic surgery is also known as keyhole surgery and sometimes will involve robotic surgery. It basically involves making these small cuts or incisions on the tummy and putting these instruments and cameras in to see what's going on inside and then operating using these instruments without having to make that sort of traditional massive incision or cut on the tummy. I first saw laparoscopic surgery when I was probably like 17 back in Hong Kong on a med school summer experience, and yo, even back then it was super cool to see. Personally, I don't see myself doing surgery in the future, but I have to say for this simulation, this was super fun. So we started the session brainstorming the pros and cons of this type of surgery, and then we went off to trying the surgery out on these machines, computer things. In a sense, it was like a video game, and yo, it was so good. Basically, we would do sort of different games to try and be more familiar with the instruments and things like that, and then we would actually work our way up to a surgery case where there was a patient a patient who comes in with this type of bleeding and like, okay, what are you gonna do? So the first game that we did was just to follow these balls in this space, which I guess sounds weird, with the camera and track them. And I tried to do this one-handed and didn't work, so I put my camera down. Then afterwards, we would do different games that would involve using instruments to cut things and do things. We would build up to this case at the end. All in all, that was a really fun thing to actually do, and that was definitely one of the more fun sessions I've had this year.
Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me?
So I am on my way to dinner. I wonder what we'll eat. I have no idea. Let's find out. Oh, you son of a...
I know what you need to.
Do you need to adjust?
I don't know.
Looks like it's good. Sorry. Dude, the commentating yesterday, right, was Thank you. Appreciate it.
Amazing, amazing.
I know some international big hitters. We've won it 4 years in a row. Well, have we?
2 years.
2 years in a row. Let's make it a third.
Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some part.
Fun means noodle, because it's a fun time.
Noodles are always fun time.
To what? This is Stingray. You know what killed Steve Irwin? This is what killed Steve Irwin.
Maybe just a better kind of bitter. Roots grab.
That height difference. Oh wow, it's like his child.
You know, I just agree.
Bye-bye!
Go get these tapioca balls.